Where the Crawdads Sing is a highly anticipated film for many book readers because it's one of the best-selling books of the last couple of years. I got to check out the film early. I have never read the book, but let me tell you right now, my entire family is obsessed with the book, so I definitely got to hear a lot back from them, so this should be a pretty interesting review. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today we're discussing Where the Crawdads Sing. This is directed by Olivia Newman, written by Lucy Alibar, and based off the book from Delia Owens, and stars the likes of Daisy Edgar Jones, Taylor John Smith, Harris Dickinson, and many more. It's about a woman who has raised herself in the marshes of the Deep South, becomes a suspect in the murder of a man who she once was involved with. Now, I knew nothing going into this movie. I didn't even read a synopsis. I saw the poster, never saw a trailer, told my family to just close my ears, don't want to hear anything about the book, because this is one of the few adaptions that I did not want to read before going into the movie, just for the same fact of I just didn't know anything going into it. I knew Reese Witherspoon was heavily a part of producing this, and for me, after seeing the movie, thought it was pretty damn good. Now, I don't think this is great by any means. I think there are certain things that it falters into when it comes down to a book adaptation, and same things is said from my family and friends who have also seen the movie and also talked about the book. So for me, those are elements that I like to talk about in here because I think they do go hand in hand. But I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section, so make sure to leave your guys' thoughts down below. Did you read the book? Did you not? Are you excited for this movie? Let's discuss it all down there, as well as make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep talking movies over here on a daily basis. That's one of my favorite things to do, and if you're here, you probably also love doing the same. So let's jump right into my pros, and starting with those pros, Where the Crawdads Sings, hands down, Daisy Edgar Jones is having one of the best years for an actress. She was in Fresh, excellent in there. She was in Under the Banner of Heaven, amazing from what I've seen and from her in there. Some of the best performances of the year, even if I don't totally love the show yet. And hands down, she is the best aspect of this film. Her performance is heartbreaking, but also at the same time very caring. And for me, out of all the characters in this movie, she is the one character that has a lot more layers to her than everyone else. And we'll talk about the other characters in a second, but seriously enough, Daisy Edgar Jones becomes such a likable character that you can only cheer for her to do and to really much be proven innocent throughout this entire story. And within, of course, certain books like this, there's always going to be a twist or a turn, some more obvious than not. I love the twists and turns that they decided to tell with this story, even if they were very subtle, especially in the approach that the director decided to take. Personally enough, with the story being told here, this is a story that is wide-ranging, starting from when she was a little girl all the way up until her adult life, and you very much see a big part of this in where you should care for. And even though, we'll talk about some cons in a second, I had some issues with the start of the film, you really come to be entangled with this story and want to find out where is this story going, specifically in the way that it's told in flashbacks and present line storylines, and all the way up until the ending, you are still getting answers and not having to think, okay, well, did this happen? Did this not happen? This story gives you all the answers that you're going to need. I also do want to give a shout out to David Streitman as Tom Milton. He's one of the big stars of this. Sterling Macer Jr. and Michael Hyatt. I thought they were all great, especially in their supporting roles. Harris Dickinson and Taylor John Smith were also fantastic, as well as Tate Walker and Chase Andrews. But, and we're going to talk again about the characters. A lot of that, I think, comes from the books, probably, and book readers will be able to tell me if not. The last pro I really do want to give this film was just the way that it was handled and made, is specifically the cinematography, the lighting, the way that they created the marsh. You really much feel and believe like you are sinking into this world. And again, it creates an atmosphere that you can truly believe that this is like something you are actually watching happening. And there's a lot of big pros to that. Again, I really enjoyed the mystery for this. I overall really enjoyed the entire trip and exactly what it was trying to do, as well as this character study adventure that it was taking us through. Daisy Edgar Jones' character, who I think she did a phenomenal job in this. Now, going over to my mixed aspects and some of my cons, one of the biggest things I have really comes down to the first part of the film. Around the first 20 to 30 minutes, it does take a while to finally kick into overdrive and actually make me interested and care about the film. In fact, I actually felt like this movie, in the entire adaptation of it, very much feels like it is from a book adaptation, and it feels like it is very much taking from each page of the book and bringing it to life in the movie. And that is not a con, nor is it a pro. I just feel like it has this weird structure that does feel like chapters at times, and I wish they would have taken a more subtle approach and actually made it feel like a movie. In fact, I actually think this would have worked better as a TV show. If you were to have done this as like a 5-part miniseries on like HBO Max or Hulu or FX, whatever it may be, I think the story would have actually been a little bit stronger and a little bit more than feeling less condensed. Like, it feels like a lot of stuff's going on, and sometimes it doesn't marinate a lot of times in these particular moments. It feels like it's always trying to go to that next chapter. And I feel like it needed a little bit more time to breathe at times. Specifically in the first 30 minutes, where it did take me a bit to finally get into the story because it's a little bit slow. And even then, if you were to have done that in a series, you would have come to really understand it a little bit better while being able to marinate. Because it's just kind of rushing through, telling you everything you need to know, while at the same time not really taking its time with what's going on within the entire story. Which, again, pros and cons to that, but overall. The next thing I have a little bit of an issue with was some of the character development when it comes down to the other actors in here. Specifically, Tate Walker and Chase Andrews. The second you meet these characters, they wear right on their pride, right on their shoulders and chest, exactly what kind of characters they are going to be. Hands down, a little bit one-dimensional, and I don't know if it's exactly like that from the books. Talking to some people, it seems like it might be, but maybe you do disagree with them. So, as a movie, though, I wish there was a little bit more of a mystery behind them. I don't know if it came down to the performances, because I thought the performances were pretty solid. A lot of that, I feel like, comes down more to the writing of it all. The point where I'm just like, oh, this actor is playing this type of role, and this character is a dick. Oh, this character is playing this type of role, and this character is a sweetheart. Okay, I get where we are going with this. Again, the layers and layers and layers that it kind of goes in about all of that. Because when it comes down to the end of the day, Where the Crawdads Sings is a pretty damn good movie. I enjoyed this overall. I didn't love it, but I did love the performance from Daisy Edgar Jones, and I cannot wait to see what she does next. I think she has a high career on the horizon for her, specifically with everything she's already done this year. Again, just some small issues with it taking a little bit of time for me to finally get into the story, and then once it's actually into the story, it feels like it's not marinating and taking its time with certain elements. But overall, I did enjoy the mystery. I did enjoy this character study, and I was rooting to see where Kaya Clark, played by Daisy, was going to go in the very end. I wanted her to get her happy ending, because truly enough, I came to really care about her character. I just wish the other characters weren't as one-dimensional and one-note, to where you know exactly who they are right as you meet them from their performance, but mostly specifically because of the writing itself. And maybe it was supposed to be that obvious, but for me, I wish it wasn't a little bit too often. So with all that said, I'm going to give Where the Crawdads Sing a B. Let me know down below what your guys' thoughts are. Have you read the book? Have you not? Let me know down there, as well as look forward to a ton of other movie reviews. We have a ton going around on this channel right now, and I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts. Thank you so much again for watching, and of course, until next time, stay classy.